Morning. Just getting ready to head out for the day. Get some errands to run. I was thinking about the collective and my particular experience in it and seeing how things have changed or how they've stayed the same from 3 months ago when I left the collective temporarily, at least in this capacity on YouTube, and then went to two different places in the underworld before I returned. And this collective, I've been with for about 3 years or so now, because during COVID is when I discovered tarot, both for myself and through all the readers on YouTube. And we began working on me, every person's me, within. Working on the ego, working on the strength, working on connection, feeling connected, balancing power and all that stuff, sharing information. and then also, I tied in music with that whole thing, and my temporary magic wand tool of the divine gave me was my playlist power, whatever. And I probably I probably made about 10,000 of them bitches. and they just got more detailed with more and more bullshit. I mean, depending on how you want it. If every single letter, every single number, every single space has a meaning, then the more you put into something or the less you put into something, it really has a lot to say. And as far as I can tell, my what tiny little bits left of my playlists, uh, is still here on YouTube. But that right has been, everywhere I go, I change the game. They watch what I do, and then they're like, "Oh shit, we can't let that happen anymore," and then they cut it off, like Instagram. Yeah, I was able to, make video memes or whatever with up to 40 different memes in them, and now you can't even try to do more than 10. They just capped it, and all my, like I said, all my YouTube receipts are here. But who cares about receipts really? Because the truth is the truth is where we're at as we go, and it's like a high-speed shutter camera, and so. Even though, like, you're seeing me right now, obviously there's an image coming from this side, an image coming from this side, and each of us is in that sort of vortex, and revealing it on like a line, like, here I am in this very moment, and here's where the stars are at that moment. This is the song I'm listening to this moment, and this is the thought I'm having. That's a very powerful practice of meditation, and that's what and also who is here with me at that moment, and we're having this thought together. And that's what that playlist experience was about. It was about a certain kind of alignment and revealing how everyone has that alignment within themselves. um, if any person's head or body or anything could reveal that there's a pole, in reality, it would only, well, not only, but its number one position is to reveal that, hey, so if this guy weirdly has all of one thing about him, then why don't I have all of one thing about me? Well, you do. Um, your birthday, your synchronicities, you claim a line on yourself, and that line won't only just make you great, it will always try to destroy you as well. And that is the line that one must maintain, where you define, okay, so let's say my birthday is January 27th. And so then I find out, okay, so that's the sign of Aquarius. Okay. And so, and you just start adding things up. And then if you were to break down numbers and letters, you're like, okay, what does 117 mean? What does it mean if I put the slash in it? Well, and you just keep defining yourself. You keep defining yourself. What's your name? How many letters does it have in it? What does it add up to? Da 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 da. And this is a part of the journey for each of us. It's not just my journey, and I'm the only one that can do this. This has been every person's journey ever. But then once you find, okay, now I've defined myself, Now I got to break myself, and that's in here, and that's a place I just came from. As well, where you have to carry 2 stones. How can you carry 2 stones or more, or even a single cross or more, if you're already on it from day 1 of your life? And if there was anything such as fate, then where's this competition coming from? You know, there is no such thing as competition. When you compete with others, then you've already lost yourself. Um, and to come back to the first thought as to what I thought of when I opened this video was how I see daily, how a common practice in tarot reading, whether it's even for a crone that's never, let's just use a term, that's never been on YouTube, that is just reading people's cards from her house, and never use electronics, or, but especially one that does it from within the collective here. A common practice is to steal energy and to manipulate the wavelengths. But that doesn't benefit anybody at all. It doesn't even benefit the practitioner. To look at somebody that you admire or whatever, and then be like, I wonder, I'm going to pay attention. Oh, I like that gift that they got. I'm going to borrow off of that. Um, or to be like, oh, okay, they said this today. I'm going to say that, but I'm going to be thinking the opposite thing. And this manipulation, like, that comes with tarot. And this is why tarot is been sacred and used by kings and queens and royals from around the world, but not really given down to regular people, because of it has 2 issues with it. One is the godly aspect and the disrespect aspect of manipulating other people's fates and claiming oneself as a messenger, when everyone's a messenger and there's no need for cards. But if everything you bleed is the truth, then is it your truth, or is it the truth of everything on the ground all around you in the 3D pointing at you saying, here, this is, you need to fucking fix this? You're not talking to them, you're talking to yourself. You just shut up and look in the mirror and fix this. Or is it saying, yeah, like sending out your energy and causing positive changes? And so that's why tarot is such a dangerous tool, because the accountability is really difficult to account for. And that's one reason, regardless, I've been assigned as somebody to look over this. And as tarot looks over me, whether or not I'll do a tarot channel, that's, it's by the minute. Whenever I listen to a reader or decide that I'm going to do a video that has to do with tarot, it is 100 absolute innocence. There's never any kind of trying to get anybody's favor. There's never any trying to necessarily push any kind of point or to take anybody's energy whatsoever. That is not in my mindset at all. There's only listening and understand whatever comes up with intuition, and however that puts itself together reveals something else to me about myself, about the person I'm listening to, and about the collective at large, along with some other things. And it's like a reversal of it's an equal but different aspect in a sensory perception of going, okay, so at this moment I feel this. Now, where are the stars in the sky? Okay, let's carry that over. Then what song is playing, and who's watching, and who's listening, and who's this for? And then making like a stone tablet, which that's, I make magical things and of the time. Like, I naturally make commemorations. Like, I'm a timepiece. I don't know how to put it. And so whenever the moment suits me, then automatically things come together and create, like a mile marker. Whether it's for me, for those that come by and find it, whatever. And what anybody could take from it is just a reflection of themselves and an understanding for them they get immediately and will slowly sink in over time, because not any one of us could be in control. And so that is just a burden and a gift and a design thing that I have available to me that I naturally will always do. So, just want to say I'm very grateful for every moment I spend with anyone in this collective, and any person, and that includes any person I see on the street for any reason. That I'm grateful for that moment, and even if it's just somebody like pulls me aside, I'm standing in the front yard, and somebody pulls up and says, "Hey, where's? Have you seen a little dog?" I had this happen the other day. The spirit had me stand out in front of my house next to the new trash cans that are out there, and I'm like, "Huh." So if I just stand here for 3 days, this is a divine joke thing. Somebody gonna pull up, or would I just stand here until I rot forever, like a light post? And then boom, this lady pulls up in the alleyway, and she's like, "Hey, can you come over here? Have you seen a little dog? There's a missing dog. I can't find my dog." And I'm like, "That's fucking weird." Okay. Then the very next day, or maybe it was the day before, I'd gone to church. It's I don't go very often because I'm always in church, and I don't want to give any sway to any particular faith or any particular building or any particular person as leader, because we're all leaders and we're all the building, and how I see that is something that I have to carry too, to maintain a balance. But I go for a walk. Oh yeah. Oh, I had gone to one church, but I got there too early, and then another one was calling me, but I wasn't sure. It was just intuitively calling me. And so I'm walking down the street, uh, I don't know, just killing time. And this guy standing out front, he's got all these amazing Christmas ornaments. And I just stopped and talked to him. I don't know, I just said, "Hey, how's it going today?" And he's like, "Oh, good." And then he I don't know, he kind of calls me over, and I start talking to him. And then he shows me, I think it was the same day. I don't know. Uh, he's like, "Oh, well, I go over to this church over here, this Methodist church, and it's one of the older churches in town. It's kind of reminds me of the European ones, and all gaudy and that, and detailed and decorative." And then he's like, "Oh, hey, before you go, I wanted to show you something." He pulls up a picture of his phone, and it's a picture of a little Dachshund dog on a couch cushion next to a telephone. And I'm like, is the divine fucking with me? Like, he's missing his dog, and like, oh, was this like a fucking calling home? Is this like ET phone home? I can't find my dog, but here, look, I got a dog next to a telephone right here on my screen. I'm standing here talking to Mr. Greg, talking about the Methodist church, and this guy just left the church and he's going to a different one, but I'm calling him over to mine, and the divine kind of told me, showed me a joke that maybe, we all know who each other is in the spirit. But the weird thing about that is if things are supposed to be a secret, then it's weird how everyone kind of acts a little bit like, it's hard not to have that duper's delight, like something that somebody else doesn't know right in their own face, and so I a lot of times get this irritation, as along with the joy from talking to somebody, because it's like they feel like, "Oh, I'm glad I'm not you. Oh, now I know." And know what? What is there to know? I don't know, and I don't know. It's just this. It's a weird feeling, because every time I run into somebody, I feel like I know them too, and that we already did this before. And so then they're duping the light and thinking they know something ahead of me, actually creates kind of a conflict, because they don't know where the fuck we're going. Otherwise, they wouldn't be standing out in the yard showing me a picture of a dog and a phone. And I don't know, because there's a paradox. Well, so just never know. Always know that I would never try to divide your energy or mess with your spiritual in any way when I'm at your page. And I listen fully. I hear what you're saying, and I hear what you're not saying, and what your ego's doing to its own ego and what it's doing to other people's egos. And that's my job to witness, because if I've witnessed it, then it automatically begins to change or evolve from that moment. I don't have to say anything, I don't have to do anything, I don't have to type a letter. So, I'm gonna get ready to run my errands, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.